be us, man, why you lying? That COD dub is mine. Talk a lot of shit for some people who don't beat us. You've been taking these L's ever since you were a fetus, man.
Hey guys, this is Tronn from RaCn Clan. I'm going to be looking back at Modern Warfare 2, kind of summarizing my thoughts about the game overall. This will be a mainly negative video from me, as I did not have a great experience with Modern Warfare 2. However, I'll try not to make this a straight up rant. While I don't think this has been the worst COD game I've played, it's definitely been the least fun I've had, at least in recent memory. You know, it might be a bit of recency bias in this, but yeah, I've had much more fun with pretty much every single other game that Activision has released up to this point. You know, even throwing it back to Ghosts, which, you know, of course had its issues, like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, World War II, even Vanguard I've had more fun in this game. So, yeah, it'll be a negative review from me here. But just to start it out, I was very skeptical going into the game, especially after playing the betas, and kind of looking at how the direction that Infinity Ward has been going with their games. You know, looking back at Modern Warfare 19, they had some worrying signs how they were developing their games. You know, they set a precedent of having bundles consistently costing up to $20 and just releasing those week after week after week, just trying to pinch every penny out of the players they could, alongside the Battle Pass system, which replaced the DLC model that previous COD games followed. Now, I don't think the Battle Pass system is necessarily bad. I just think they were hopping on the bandwagon after Fortnite implemented it, and I think the DLC model was a just fine model. But I get that games these days need to release a lot of free content to keep up. Also, we'll talk about SBMM a bit. Activision claims to have had some degree of SBMM in every single COD game up to this point. However, Modern Warfare 19 was the first game where you truly felt SBMM, which was actually more like a retention-based matchmaking to try and keep you playing as long as possible. They also reduced the TTK in that game from the previous game and showed a bias towards slower paced players and more careful players, you know, players that like to favor a camping playstyle. However, in Modern Warfare 19, they had advanced movement techniques like slide canceling and bunny hopping, which, you know, helped counteract the campers and stuff like that. Now, shifting focus to Modern Warfare 2, Infinity Warfare has kind of doubled down on their bias towards, you know, slower gameplay and kind of coddling newer players, trying to keep a balance between the newer players and the more try-hard players, just to make sure that the newer players don't play one game, get absolutely destroyed, and then never touch the game again, because all they care about is gamer retention, besides how they make their money. They instantly showed that there'd be no advanced movement in this game after patching the bunny hopping and slide canceling that was in the betas. Now, this removed one of the only techniques that we could use in Modern Warfare 19 to counteract, you know, campers and slower gameplay. So starting from the beginning, it looked like it was going to be an issue. They kept the TTK at a very similar level as Modern Warfare 19's, albeit slightly higher, but still overall lower than previous games like Cold War and Vanguard, as well as keeping a very broken squad spawn mechanic, which many pros have complained about over and over and over again. The maps at release were also very poor, as well as Infinity Ward actually getting in trouble for basically copy and pasting a couple of maps from real life locations. Pro players also struggled to find maps that were suitable for competitive play, and the maps that were added throughout the seasons were consistently disappointing. This showed that the original content they're releasing just wasn't up to the player standards. After a while, I found myself only playing the ranked and the shoot the shit playlist, because that's all that I was finding fun. Now I'll try and shift to some positive aspects, as I've just been talking about a lot of negatives up to this point. Now, the game visually looks really good, especially on PC. The new camo grind system was actually very solid. You know, they had a lot of camo grinds in this game, and it was a good way to play this game and keep having fun. And also, while I never played them, the raids looked like a fun addition, albeit potentially a waste of resources considering the state of standard multiplayer. But, you know, I know people that had a lot of fun on the raids, so fair enough. Another positive was ranked play, which was coincidentally developed by Treyarch. Not looking good for IW here. Yeah, I had a lot of fun on ranked play. I only played the first couple seasons, but, you know, it was a lot of fun for however long I played. You know, it wasn't absurdly difficult to push up through the ranks, but provided enough of a challenge to keep it fresh. Now, that was until you got a high enough rank to consistently run into cheaters. Now let's get on to another negative, and that is, you know, cheaters. The developers had absolutely no answer to the cheating problem in this game, especially when you were pushing up to the higher levels, Crimson, Iridescent. Even, at certain points in this game, a large portion of the players in the top 250 were blatantly cheating. Infinity Ward and Activision just had no answer to this. I'm not going to drag on about the cheaters, as it's been a problem for a few years now, and Activision just has showed that they will continuously not do enough to address it and not fight it enough. While it seems like other games in the market are, fighting the cheating problem and to some level getting rid of the cheaters, Call of Duty just can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with them, but it can't do it. At the end of the day, this game just did not suit my gameplay style at all. And while you might just say, adapt, I just was not in this game and did not want to try and force myself to play and have as much game time as possible, as I played this game significantly less than the other past games. Looking at other releases this year, there's been many strong single player games released this year, and I just could not find myself picking up the controller and playing Call of Duty with all the other great games in the market this year. I'd rather play a great single player game than torture myself in pubs. I might not be the best person to summarize this game since I stopped playing after maybe Season 2, maybe a little bit into Season 3. I experienced less than half of the game cycle, but this is just my opinion after the time I spent. Now, Sledgehammer has a pristine opportunity to basically undo everything IW did here, which, it appears like they're acting on it after playing the beta, and I actually had lots of fun on the beta. So let's look forward to Modern Warfare 3 and hope that, they just turn a corner and Sledgehammer holds us over until Treyarch 2024, which is what I think most of the COD community is waiting on at this point. Anyways, that's all for me today, and have a good one.
We the clan, RaCn, in Call of Duty, man, our name is bad news. The RaCn clan got a plan to drag you and all of your homies to the graveyard too. We the clan, RaCn, in Call of Duty, man, our name is bad news. The RaCn clan got a plan to drag you and all of your